All right. Hello, everybody, and welcome to the year 2018. I hope that, first of all, I got to say, I hope your year ahead is everything and then some of what you want. May all your dreams and your goals come true. May you, your family, and friends be healthy, happy, aligned, prosperous. I've got to do this. This is something I've had for a little while now. A little bit of backstory before I show the cover. For a couple years now, I've wanted to write my biography. But at the time, I didn't know how I wanted to write it. I didn't know what I wanted to write really about. And it wasn't until this year. Okay, it wasn't until this year. I started meeting some really influential people. Actually, it kind of began in 2016, but 2017 was when this push really happened to make this book become a reality. My mentor and good friend, Dr. Coit Cooper, he is a motivational speaker. He's an author. He's a life coach. He's an entrepreneur. He's a brand specialist. Really instilled in me that just the phrase crush it. And you know, for the longest time I was intimidated by that every time he would say that, but I've learned to feed off of that. And really, crush it just means what you want to do is out there, you go and you make it, and you crush it like a can. You just take it and you just, I did it, I accomplished it. And my son Lyndon has been encouraging me over the last year. It's been amazing to be his father. And not only as I've grown in the last couple of years, just within this last year, I've seen my son, who's a freshman in high school, just his mindset has been incredible. And there's been actually times my child has inspired me. And between Coit and between Lyndon, I was just really being pushed. And I just started thinking, gosh, I got to do this. I need to do this. I have to do this. I must do this. But I was at the cusp of doing it, but I wasn't completely there. So one of the new friends that I made this year, her name's Nicole Zion Cox. She is the best-selling author of the book Foster to Foster. She's a foster coach. She's an entrepreneur. She's an author. You're going to be hearing that name a lot in the years to come, and it's all going to start. This year's going to be phenomenal for her. But as I got to know Nicole started talking about her book Foster to Fosters and her story of growing up in the foster care system as a foster child. And after just hearing part of her story, I haven't even read the book yet. It's on my 2018 list, and it's actually on my early one. I've got my next book coming, and her book is right after that because I want to read her story. But we got to talking, and once she got to tell me the story, she said, yeah, I sat down and I just did this. You know, I wrote it in about a month, and I'm like, oh my gosh, you wrote a book in a month? I've written 8 books before, and they take me 2 years to write. And she started saying, it's possible, you know. And I had started looking at, you know, writing your memoir, your autobiography, a motivational book where you're incorporating your real life stories into. I found out is a lot different than the children's books that I've been writing for 14 years. For my children's books, I have to create everything. I have to create the characters, the dialogue, the scene, the mood, the plot. Who's the antagonist? Who's the protagonist? You know, I've got to create the climax and, you know, the suspense, the laughter, the joy, the playfulness. I've got to create all that. Nicole really inspired me and encouraged me to just write this book finally. So I sat down on October 30th of 2017. Now that year's behind us, I sat down and I wrote this book. And on November 29th, I finished my book, When the Storm Runs Out of Rain. It's 216 pages, autobiographical, motivational self-help. I literally, in this book, I put myself under the microscope and to show all my imperfections, to show all the really dumb things that I've done in my life, the mistakes I've made. You know, when I turned left and I should have turned right, I zigged when I should have zagged, I went up when I should have went down. And I incorporate all these highs and lows. Without giving anything away of the book, you know, I open myself up to, you know, some moments that was just a roll of the dice that happened to me that I wouldn't wish on anybody. You know, some things that most people probably will never feel, and I hope they don't, to some of the greatest highs in the last couple years and in my life that I've had. A lot of that was woven into those bad times, and I just didn't see it then. So when I finish this book, it's now in editing. It's now in editing. After editing, it'll go to layout, where pictures and things will be, we're going to add that into it, and we're going to get a little more inside with the layout. But my goal is for this book to reach as many people who want to change their lives. And it's my hope that this book will become a gift for anybody that knows somebody who wants to change their life or needs to change their life. So, before I go any further, I want to show you, now in 2018, this is my book, When the Storm Runs Out of Rain. And I gotta tell you, I'm blown away. Something that sat in my head for a handful of years is now going to be a reality. The book is actually written. And the truth is, right here's the book. I did it in 30 days. I didn't think it was possible. But the one thing I want to tell you, there's a lot of things in your life that you're maybe thinking isn't so possible. There's a lot of things that you maybe didn't think you could do. I didn't think I'd be unveiling the cover of my 9th book. I didn't think that that 9th book would not be a children's story. But that's just it. The best life is the life that's not planned. Have your goals, have your dreams, make things happen. As Coit would say, go out and crush it. But sometimes, let yourself go. Get pumped by freeing yourself from regret, from negativity, from fear, from worry, from guilt. And just live. Live your life. And I guarantee you, at the end of it, you're going to find that true happiness when that storm runs out of rain. The book should be, I'm going to say pretty fairly certain, it's going to be the early part of this year. Obviously, it's in editing right now, and that is a whole nother time frame on its own. I don't have any control over that. That is another person sitting down physically going through the book, and that's going to take time. And then once it comes back, we've got to get it into layout. We've got to get photos that I've been looking through, and I still have some to look through. I've got to get captions to those photos and get them into the book so that it can all go in when the book's going to publish. There'll be more on that, but I'm just super excited. I'm just excited about this. I'm just excited about it. I mean, I want you to be excited about this new year. I want you to be excited for the possibilities you have. Don't let anybody tell you you don't have possibilities. Don't let anybody tell you you can't make it. I've got a good friend, his name's Jimmy Warmiz, that has this awesome webcast, and it's called Inspired by Jimmy L. Look it up. I want to ask you to subscribe to this, because this is positivity and motivation from this guy that is awesome. And he's excited to read this book. I'm excited to get him this book. But if you want good motivation every day, Jimmy is an amazing guy. And I just kind of threw that out there because there's a lot of things in there that Jimmy does that I think you're going to get into. But I'm blessed to have the friends that I've developed over the last 2 years. And with this book, I hope it'll hit home, just like we're friends sitting on your couch talking. When you get done with this book, give it to somebody else who needs it. Buy it as a gift. Give it as a gift. Christmas is only 12 months away, so my hope for you is that 2018 will be a year that you remember, a year that is blessed, joyous, and I want to end with a quote from my friend Jimmy, one that he likes to use from someone very close to him. This is just the beginning. To be continued. Stay blessed. Stay alive. Live. You guys have a great day. Take care.